It's Kay from Kay's Quilt Shop, and we are doing a Kay's Creative Corner today. And today we are going to be talking about Sashiko, which is a Japanese embroidery mending technique that is hundreds and hundreds of years old. And it was started in Japan, where the peasants could only wear indigo colored clothing, and when they would get ripped or torn, or they needed to add a little bit more padding to it to keep it a little bit warmer, keep themselves a little bit warmer, they were not allowed to do any patches, so they did this stitching and just added the patches the same color and used decorative stitches to make them look a little bit more exciting. So what we've got here are a couple of samples that we've done, and these are not finished into anything. They're just some squares that we have available at the shop. And this one was done with a variegated thread. So you can see how it goes from white to the pink, which is kind of neat. And if anybody knows me, they know I love variegated thread. This one was done on white, and we used gray, and I think that looks really nice. And this is one that Michelle just completed, and it's very intricate, and actually has 4 skeins of thread in it. These others have all just used 1 or less than 1. Here is a wall hanging that I made using these little squares that were actually designed to be coasters, but I didn't need any coasters, and I thought this just went together really nicely. And we can hang it in Scott's den at some point. And then this is a wall hanging that I did, and I included some pieced blocks with it. And I used variegated and 2 shades of solid pink and the white to get all the different effects, but you can see how all of these blocks just turned out, I think, really nice, and just kind of a fun thing to do. And it's actually a very relaxing hand stitching that is very transportable. And so for that, I'm going to show you, this is not done with a hoop, so it is just stitched by hand. And all you need is a little pouch like this, and this is one of our little charming bags, and you can fit everything in here that you need. And so what do you need? You need a skein of thread, and these come in all different, I just brought a selection on. You can see, I can't read that. I don't know if you can, but I don't know Japanese. The needles are also from Japan. And these are how the little packets come. Just all nice and together. And you can see all of this fits nicely into the little pouch. And then the only other thing you need is a pair of scissors. So we just use the small little Karen K. Buckley scissors. We recently found this book, and it's like $8, and it's just jam-packed full of all kinds of interesting little tidbits and information on how to do this. And the nice thing is it fits right in your little pouch with everything else. So if you need a little refresher, it's right there for you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to cut your threads, because these are done with a single layer. So I'm going to have Michelle do that. We're going to open up that pink. Of course, we've got to open up pink, you know. And you just take it out of the wrapper, take the paper off of it, and you will see that it's kind of in a skein, just like yarn can be. And we just open it up to that big circle and lay that down, and just you can see where it's tied right here to keep everything together. And so what we do is we cut it opposite of the tie, just like that. And you can then, this is the length of thread that you're supposed to use, and you can just pull those out one at a time. That keeps this thread all tied together so it won't get all knotted up. You're ready to put that into your little pouch, and now we're just going to thread the needle. But we're not going to make Michelle thread the needle just because, you know, that's not going to go real smooth. But if you look at these directions, obviously there's not much that I can read, but if you look closely, you'll see that there are numbers and they show you which way to go. So you're going to start at number 1 and go up and all the way around. Then you're going to come over to number 2 and start following the design that way, and then go on to 3. Some of these do have more than just a couple of numbers, but if you look inside, there's some pictures, but not much in English. So that's where that little book comes in handy. So Michelle is going to show you that this is double layer, and you can stitch it either way depending on what you're going to use it for. I'm going to do a continuing class on this because we have a plan for this piece. We're going to be doing a purse, and we're going to use this as part of the outside of the purse. So I want that double layer just because it's going to get a lot of wear and tear. So we're not going to start right at the corner. We're going to start a couple of stitches in, and that's the other thing I wanted to show you is this is kind of cheater cloth. It shows you how to make your little stitches and where they go. So you'll notice that Michelle did not put a knot into her thread, and we're just going to do a little tiny baby stitch, as she calls it, and you see how she's got that pulled relatively short there, but not all the way through, for one little baby stitch, and then we're going to do another baby stitch. So we're doing this little tiny couple little baby stitches because we don't want a knot on the back side of this. Some things it doesn't matter if you have a knot on it, but in this particular case we do not want a knot. So now she's going to go back over it with the regular size stitch, and these stitches are supposed to be no longer than a grain of rice. And but with these already marked, it certainly makes it much easier for you to see how to do this. But if you wanted to make your own drawings, which there are some samples in the book, you can see how to keep those consistent. So now she's just going to turn it around. You can see that this is a wonderful project for traveling. It's easy to take on the plane because honestly, if your thread is already cut, you don't really need to do that. You can just leave your threads dangling. And let's take a look at what we've got on the back side here, Michelle. And then that will be able to be trimmed a little bit shorter if we want. So the other thing is you're going to put your needle in and you're going to load up some stitches. And that is going to help keep those in a straight line. If you're doing one stitch at a time, it's much harder to keep them exactly straight. But when you can load them all up, they do come out nice and straight. And then when she's ready to, after she's got a couple more stitches, or this last stitch loaded on, you can see the needle through there. So she's going to just put her thumb over that area to keep that from puckering too much. Just pull it nice and gentle, and you've got stitches loaded. This is a great thing to do in front of a TV as you're waiting for a doctor, and like I said, traveling. It's just fantastic because you don't have to worry about losing your good scissors. You don't have to take a lot of different threads. One skein will do this entire piece, which is about 12.5 by 12.5. And other than that one that was the white background with the blue, that was very, very dense. You could see that. It does pucker it a little bit, but not a lot. And I think that when we get to the point of using this for our next project, once we get this one all done, I think you'll see just how amazing this stuff is and what you can do with it. Besides the wall hangings that I've done, which that one could be a table runner as well, these are great for pillow tops. And we're going to use it, like I said, on a purse, which I think is going to just make it very, very classy. So just based on whatever color you like or want, or what you want for the lining. So stop by the shop and check out our selection of different threads and different designs. These are kind of geometrics, and I kind of like that, especially for my purse. So stop by and see us, and thank you for watching this. Bye.